Hello everyone, welcome back to Learn C from Scratch course. Today we'll be doing our first program in C, it is Hello World program. And for that you need to install one IDE, it is a software that is Dev C++, or you can use code blocks too. All are free and easily available in the internet. So you need to download and install, okay? So this is our first program. So these are all the lines of codes, okay? First of all, you need to open the software and you need to write these lines, these codes into the software, and then you need to save that, okay? And after saving, you need to execute that file. And while executing, after execution, it will generate a .exe file. I know you know that what is .exe file, that is executable file. And after pressing that .exe file, you will get an output that is hello world, okay, in the console window. Okay, hello world. Okay, now let's understand the code line by line. Okay, now what is this hash include stdio.h? This has a very complex function, we'll discuss it later, but right now just keep in mind that we need to include this file in our every C program. Okay, we need to include that file, otherwise our program won't run. We need to include this file, this .h file. These are called header file, okay, header, header file. And just keep in mind that we need to include this file in our every program. And what is main? This main is a function. Whenever we are executing any program, it will first go to this main function, okay, and then it will start executing. It will start executing, right? And whatever we have to write, we need to write within this curly braces, okay? Everything we have to write between this curly braces. Now what is this printf doing here? This printf is nothing but just showing this output into the console window, into the monitor, okay? This printf is liable for just showing the output here, and whatever we have to write into the consider this is our monitor, and we need to write here anything. If you have to write here anything, we need to write in this printf, and within this quotes, keep in mind. And after every line we have to give this terminator sign, okay? So this defines that we are ending this line, okay? And in after every line we have to give this semicolon, okay? So let's go to the next slide. I hope it's clear right now, but I'll discuss further more later. Now what are keywords and identifiers? Keywords are nothing but that has some predefined meaning in the program. Okay, suppose suppose there are lots of words, but suppose you say that chalk. In the classroom you said chalk, okay? Chalk has some predefined meaning. This is chalk. So if you mean something else, it won't mean something else, okay? So it is a chalk and it is a duster, so it has some predefined meaning. So like this, in the programming language, some words has some predefined meaning. You cannot use that words into some another context, right? Like some keywords are int, char, case, switch. These are all okay. Now rules for naming identifiers, I'm coming this later, but first of all we need to understand what a variable and constants. Variable is nothing but a container, okay? Consider it as a container. Now what container does, if we want to keep water in it, we can keep it. If we want to keep milk, we can keep. Anything we want to keep in the container, we can keep it here, okay? So a variable is like that. A variable is nothing but a storage area where we can store our data. Now how to declare a variable? Like this. How we can declare. Right now don't consider this int. So this is the name of the variable, okay? This is the name of the variable. This is num. This is num, okay? This container is num. So this is a variable, and what we're doing is keeping 5 in it. Keeping 5 in it. We are keeping 5 into this num container. Now what it actually does is, when we say num equal to 5, we basically, in the primary memory, we have seen that primary memory is divided into blocks, and when we say int num equal to 5, what it does is it creates an area into the primary memory, okay? And when we say equals to 5, what it does, it stores 5 into that area, okay? Consider it is a container. What it is a variable named, this variable is named num, okay? Now if we want to store any other data, suppose num equals to 6, then what will happen? This 5 will be deleted and this 6 will be stored here. As is a variable, so we can store any data into it, right? Now what are constant? Constant is nothing but the same meaning, but we cannot change this value. If we say num equals to 6, it will not happen, okay? It will give an error, right? So this is how we can define the variable and constant variables. So this is basically the name of the variable, this, okay? This is the name. Now we need to consider some rules before naming the variables. What are they? Let's go to the previous slide. Yeah, these are the rules, okay? A valid identifier can have letters, both uppercase and lowercase, digits and underscores. The first letter of an identifier should be either a letter or an underscore. And okay, here in int here it is the variable name, so you cannot write to num as a variable name because the first letter should be underscore or should have an alphabet, okay? We cannot write this 2 num 8 num like that. And one thing more, we cannot use keyword as an identifier. Why? I've already told that keyword has some predefined meaning. We cannot use any keyword as an identifier, okay? Now what is this int, right? So this int is called data type. in C programming language, data types are declaration of variables. Okay, that means what kind of data I want to store in the num. This int is nothing but integer. This is a type of data. What type of data I want to store in the variable. This is integer type of data, this 5. So I have declared this variable as integer. Okay, there are lots of data types in C. This is character type data type. What is character? Is integer means like you can say 5, 8. These all are integers, right? What are characters? A, B, these all are characters. Any special characters, all are character. Okay, these are 1 byte. And what is this 4 byte 1 byte? Is the size of that variable. Okay, when we say int num, consider it num equals to 5, what it does is int num means it creates 4 bytes of area in the RAM. Okay, it creates 4 bytes of area in the RAM. Okay, when char takes 1 byte, when I want to keep character type data type, it will take 1 byte memory in the RAM. So float means any point, 5.8, 6.7, any float type of data is stored in float. Now what is double? So these have some limitations. So we cannot store very big data into int. So then we have to is long int. We can store very 10 digits, 16 digits of data in long int. Okay, we cannot use int there and short int there. Same as float and double. We have, if we want to store very long, very big float type of data, then we have to use double data type. We'll get to know more about this later. Okay, in the second program, right? Now I've already told we have to include this file in every program. This is called header file, and this main we have to include also because this is needed to run the program. Okay, and we have to write every lines of code into the parentheses or the braces. Now what I'm doing in this program, you can clearly see I've declared one variable int num. What it does, it creates 4 bytes of memory in the RAM. Now printf enter a number. In the console we can see enter a number, right? Then what this scanf is doing, it is new, right? Scanf is nothing but taking the input from us. It is waiting here, right? When we say printf enter a number, it is waiting here. The cursor is blinking here. When we give 5, the scanf is scanning the data from the keyboard. When you give 5, the 5 will be stored into the desired location, into here. Okay, and what is percentage %d? Percentage %d is format specifier. Now what is format specifier does? Format specifier is tells us that what kind of data we want, we need to store, what kind of data. This percentage %d is integer type of data. Okay, so it's this is format specifier. This is specifying the type of data, and this ampersand number, ampersand is address operator. In this address we want to store the data I'm taking from the keyboard. So it takes the data here and store it into the primary memory where we create the location, right? This is how scanf works. Now what is printf is doing? Printf is nothing but, I've already told that printf is nothing but it will print everything into the window, right? it will print number equal to what type of data? Percentage D means integer type of data, format specifier, and the num means in this location the data is stored 5, so it will be copied to here. Okay, and it will be printed in the screen number equals to 5. This percentage D will be vanished, and in here it will be printed 5. Okay. Now we've already know what is header file, right? Pre-processing directive means this is called pre-processing directives. These are pre-processors, okay? And there are lots of hash defined things which we'll get to know later. And what are format specifier? I've already discussed. What is compiler? Okay, what is compiler? Compiler is needed to compile this source code. Okay, this is the source code, so computer doesn't understand this source code. What compiler does is compiler make this .exe file, and .exe is completely machine code which computer can understand. So basically compiler does that. Okay, there are lots of works of compiler, so we'll get to know later about that. Compiler we'll discuss briefly after some videos, but right now just keep in mind that compiler is liable for creating .exe file, okay, so that the machine can execute that file. And this ampersand sign is nothing but address of operator. It fetches the address, okay, of the location. So I hope everything is clear to you, and please like the video and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.